Yeah, we were fixing it. Okay, so it should be back now. Hopefully the audio issues have gotten figured out and taken care of. So do apologize for that, for the audio issues. But after the restart, apparently things should be better now. But of course, be sure to let us know if things still sound a bit screwed up. But on that note, obviously now in the game, so the selection stage, of course, finishing. So overall, we'll go ahead and start with the Legion team and just kind of get an idea of what we think about the lineups overall and how they finished. Of course, we talked about the first three. The final two over here was actually Polywog Priest and Bubbles were the final two picks for the Legion side. So, what do you think about the Legion team over here, Troff, and how they finished off?
I think it's pretty good. I know they're running Witch, I think, as a support right now for Pebbles, which I don't really like. It's just really weak as a support hero. So right now their laning phase is going to be kind of lacking. And the way that they have it set up, I actually think they're going to run a jungle Wild Soul. Because they're going to have a solo Bubbles, which is probably going to be Suicide. A solo Polywog Priest, and that leaves Wild Soul to be in the jungle. So this will work if Wild Soul is very active and gets some really lucky roots, but you know that RNG is going to play a big factor in the success of this bottom lane.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, that's the thing with Wild Soul, not necessarily known as the most aggressive ganker from the jungle, but at the same time, as you mentioned, when it comes to RNG, with those roots can actually be pretty damn useful if it works out. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. You mentioning usually like to kind of go with that Suicide lane Wild Soul, but in this case, very likely going to be running jungle because of the setup that they have. And what do you think about the Witch Slayer partner with the Pebbles? I mean, do you think that, obviously I don't think it's as good as maybe an M4 or even a Glacius, but do you think it makes sense, though, with the Pebbles?
It's okay. It's just not that strong because Witch can't harass that well. If Witch is going up against a tri-lane, which he probably is, he's gonna have a hell of a time. I mean, his stun until he hits level 2, until he hits level 3, the stun duration is 0.5 seconds. Or sorry, they fly. It says they fly into the air for 0.5 seconds and they're stunned for 5 seconds. So it's like a 1 second stun, which is like nothing. So he just has very, very little presence in the lane until at least he hits level 3. Some would say it's not even level 4 that is really starts to be effective. So it's a very weak supporter, but you know, if they play this passively, they'll be okay. But the thing is that you can't play a lane passively with Pebbles, and then you can't play it passively when you're against a tri-lane. So I don't know, it's going to be rough, I think.
Yeah, you do see, speaking of that, of course, Forsaken Archer, Glacius, and Fade, so sure enough, well, actually, interesting.
It's probably going to be Fade walking mid.
I was going to say, yeah, she actually has a hatchet, so I was like, yeah, probably not going to be support Fade. So yeah, there's going to be the tri-lane, though, with Glacius, Magnus, and Forsaken Archer, and that's definitely powerful. Good luck. What's that?
Sorry, I keep cutting you off, but support Polywog Priest, actually. So they are going to do the Suicide Wild Soul as well, and they're going to do a support poly. I am not that familiar with support poly. I do know they do it a lot in the Southeast Asian scene, but I'm curious to see how effective it's going to be.
Yeah, you see right there the level 1 tongue-tied. I mean, that is that is unique, but at the same time, you know, is it really that bad? I will say, and again, this is kind of from my lowly experience insight here, but playing Polywog Priest in the very beginning, back when I first started playing Han, and even back to the Dota days with Rasta, I actually like to build this very CC heavy build with going into the morph and the tongue tied in this case, and didn't be kind of that support role. But again, that was obviously way back in the day, and from a pub standpoint, but I found it to be pretty damn useful. And I mean, when you think about it, the CC is very strong. I mean, the morph obviously very effective, so much in the miniaturization from Witch Slayer, and then the tongue tie, sure, it's channeled, but if you can get it off appropriately, in fact, we see right here Forsaken Archer actually in a lot of trouble. We're gonna see that tongue tie come out. There's a tongue tie. Forsaken Archer completely locked down now. Magnus already using the Lava Surge stun, and down goes Forsaken Archer. So right off the bat, the Polywog Priest support coming through, and Mr. Ghost actually on that Polywog will get credit for the Bloodlust.
Yeah, that's just that was really well done by Orange, and at the same time though, I don't know why Glacius was kind of walking mid. Maybe they thought in the minds that they wanted to do a dual lane mid with the Fade Glacius against the Bubbles, but you know,
Yeah.
I think they should have known already that, okay, Wild Soul was top, and then Bubbles is mid, so that only leaves one place for Polywog Priest to go. So that means it's going to be a tri-lane, and they can't have a dual lane against a tri-lane.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's what you're kind of saying, though. It's maybe a case that just like you, I mean, they're just completely unfamiliar with
Right.
the Polywog Priest support, so they probably just assumed maybe it was going to be top, and then maybe Wild Soul will make it into the Hellborn jungle or something, but yeah, Glacius making the move, not able to be there, and not to say that that would have made the ultimate difference, but no doubt it would have helped, and maybe turn things around. So, yeah, that's a big start for Orange Esports, though, again, especially with Polywog Priest and getting that Bloodlust kill, and so the level 1 tongue-tied and warning that support Polywog already working out. Forsaken Archer has to come back to the bottom lane, which he is now, and we'll continue to fire. But look at the site, too, that was placed by Polywog Priest, the Ward of Sight, in the middle of the lane. So great vision here for the Legion team as well in terms of positioning.
Yeah, that's a very interesting ward. I haven't seen that really, but I think the other ward as well spots the bottom rune, so that's good. So they're just going to have a lot of vision down here to work with. That's going to give them the best possible position to put their heroes in. So they have lots of information about where the enemy heroes are hiding, so to speak, and they can act accordingly.
Yeah. Yeah, so obviously no follow-up initiation just yet. We do see Pebbles taking a little bit of pressure right there. And, of course, with that very low base armor to start off, taking quite a bit of harassment, especially from that Forsaken Archer, but going to be more than fine for now. But both sides, I mean, just because the Bloodlust kill happened for Orange Esports doesn't mean they can really be overconfident now as far as playing down here in a try versus try, because the Hellborn tri lane just as dangerous, again, with that Magnus Glacius and Forsaken Archer, if they happen to really catch any of them out of position. So, yeah, but it's always entertaining to see a try versus try, at least in my opinion, because it does promote a lot of action, and, again, right off the bat, getting that Bloodlust kill. But since then, both teams kind of playing a little bit timid, and neither one overcommitting too much. But look at the top lane in the meantime. Wild Soul being played by XXF here, the guy that I've talked a little bit about yesterday in the selection show, as being really a player that if he isn't already a name known on the competitive scene too well, really after this tournament, I think really should start to be more and more. He did fantastic at DreamHack, I thought, and is no doubt one of the better players over there in the Southeast Asian region. So good to see him playing this Wild Soul, and so far it seems like he's actually doing very well up here against the Valkyrie in terms of positioning himself.
Yeah, he was able to get a couple of roots there, and it looks like he's going to pull the creep wave yet again. What this does, I mean, he can definitely fare 1v1 just straight up against Valkyrie, because you get that root, it's going to do so much damage. But this is going to make Valkyrie, like, look she's taking so much damage from these just these archers right here. She's almost going to die from these. Oh my god.
Jeez.
And now she's completely out of region. But what this does is it makes her almost impossible to CS. Because for one, it's harder to CS with the tower attacks going onto the soldiers right there. But now, yeah, like you see, her health is just dropping so drastically. So he's really playing the Wild Soul to his full effectiveness.
Oh, bottom lane in the meantime for Forsaken Archer again, but the tongue tie is actually going to be used on Magnus by Polywog Priest, as they saw that he was going to be stunning into Witch, so they're going to get turned around on. So that's what I was talking about, the potential that this Hellborn team also has in terms of trial lane. And Pebbles sticking around a little bit too long. Needs to be careful. He does have Stalagmites coming up in 3 seconds. In comes Polywog Priest, couple of auto attacks. Stalagmites will hit Forsaken Archer. Is he going to go for it is the question. Trying to dodge it, trying to be the strafe master. Not going to happen though. Forsaken Archer will fall, and Pebbles will just run down the river into the bottom rune, which actually happens to be top. But Polywog Priest also going to get away. So very well played there. Very good patience by our Legion team, and Pebbles especially being played by Wing Wing here for Orange. Did a good job of standing his ground and knowing that the cooldowns were down for a Hellborn team, and sure enough turned it onto Forsaken Archer once again.
Yeah, and then that could have been worse for Polywog Priest also at the end there if she didn't have boots. But because I think she did get the Bloodlust, yes she did, was able to pick up those early boots and was able to get away from Magnus, who definitely had another stun ready. Also in the middle lane, there was a kill that Fade got onto Bubble solo.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting. That's something we don't usually see, a kill like that with a melee onto a Bubbles who has the Shell Surf and also has the take cover ability.
Yeah. Obviously watch the bottom action, but that is something. And that's the lane we really haven't talked much about yet. I mean, Fade versus Bubbles. So she got the kill, and you said that's kind of a little bit surprising. But what about overall in terms of creep score and whatnot? The fact that Fade's 19-6 compared to a 16-8 Bubble, so she's even winning slightly in creep score. Is that surprising?
That's not surprising to me because it's a melee with a hatchet, so it's very easy to get CS. Actually, she just balled up a DD. Has her ultimate activated. Bubbles playing very close to the tower, but if he gets caught out here, it's going to do so much damage. Take cover comes a little bit too early. Oh, I knew that was going to be his demise. You cannot take cover too early. It's very like, it's a very instinctual to, or I don't know what the word, instinctual to massively, you know, spam or take cover. But you just got to be patient. You know, the ults hit you no matter what. You got to wait for that stun to take cover, and he just did it way too soon. And another great kill by Meisty there in the mid lane.
Yeah, Meisty making big plays here for QsQ112, and right now leading the game in goal per minute, 317 goal per minute. I mean, look at that. It just drastically falls off after that. No one's even competing with him, at least for only being 6 minutes in the game. I mean, Pebbles is the next closest in favor of the Legion team at 235, but it just goes down from there. I mean, the interesting matchup, too, is especially Wild Soul versus Valkyrie. Neither one is managing to actually break even that 200 goal per minute mark, which I find actually a little bit surprising in the fact that it's a 1 versus 1 up there, and neither one even able to break that 200 GPM. But so far, I mean, they're basically identical for that matter at this point. Wild Soul does have the slight level advantage, as you can see. He's currently level 6. Of course, he gets the ultimate, and it's what I love about Wild Soul, too. The fact that he has 4 minor totems, yeah, he's sitting on nearly 1,200 life in that ulti form. I always think is pretty ridiculous. But, yeah, so... I mean, what about that? The fact that neither one, well, actually, Valkyrie, she has pulled a little bit ahead, but is it surprising that neither one really getting too far ahead at the top lane?
Not really. I mean, I think they both were harassing each other quite a bit in the beginning, and that was really kind of their focus. I mean, Wild Soul was very, very close to getting kills on her, but, you know, back to this bottom lane is, you really see the power of just the Hellborn tri-lane. The stun comes out on the Glacius as well as Stagmite. That was a really well-placed Stagmite stun. Oh, but the power supply on the Glacius is really going to save him. Oh, but he does get the last hit from Witchslayer gets the kill. The Polywog Priest does hold the Magnus. Another great stun by Witchslayer. And the Bubbles comes in to join the party. Does he have his ultimate? He did not pour to his shell. He does have his ultimate as well. But FA is only level 3. All these heroes down here, she is definitely going to die. Wow, that was some really great play by both sides, but ultimately Legion really got the better end of it.
Yeah, it's not over just yet, though. Fade is coming in. Gonna jump Polywog Priest right here. Will get 1 kill. Gonna go for Pebbles maybe next. Going for Witchslayer, actually, with the Cole after the Burning Shadows. Not enough for the kill, though. Knows that the kill field's still ready. In fact, there we go. The kill field comes out. Fade in a little bit of trouble. Cooldown's up in about 4 seconds. Will it be enough in time? She's barely still alive. One more auto attack will do her in. There's the Burning Shadows. Gets the stun. Where's the cold? Oh, the piercing! Oh, the crippling volley. Excuse me, missing right there. Oh, that was a getaway 100% for Meisty if that crippling volley landed by Forsaken Archer. Unfortunately, FJ just behind Pebbles, and he's able to get away. Still chasing, though. Crippling volley once again, not actually going to be canceled right there, and will end up falling back. But how about that? Meisty making some big plays. Unfortunately, didn't get the support in time and just barely falls.
I thought that was really funny that Pebbles, being played by Wang Wang, just sat there pounding in at melee range to the Fade and just popped his health potion right in front of him. Fade didn't hit him to get rid of it or anything. Just sat there pounding him with the health potion going on. I thought that was really funny. But yeah, that was a missed volley. That was a crucial missed volley at it. So it's just too bad. That was a really good exchange for Orange.
Yeah, that was again very, very unfortunate for Meisty there, but. On that note, he still is doing fairly well, at least when you look at the GPM 290 now and counting, farming this middle lane. But, of course, Pebbles, no doubt after that, he's stepping up a little bit, too, as he's up to 282 now in terms of gold per minute, and he also has his bottle as well as Steam Boots here early on in this game. So, of course, especially with the Tri-Lane Pebbles, the name of the game here for Orange Esports Malaysia is no doubt get farm on Pebbles, get that portal key as soon as possible, and get him moving around the map ASAP on top of that. I mean, in fact, you look at this Hellborn team on that note, they don't have that beefy tank hero. Meanwhile, at the top lane, Wild Soul actually getting taken out up here. The hasted Fade coming in and setting up a kill with Valkyrie. So, again, Fade is the big factor so far in this game here for the Hellborn team. She's now 3-1-1 and just sitting at that 300 goal per minute mark. But yeah, Pebbles, once he gets that portal key, which you got to expect at this point, she's going to be his next item of choice. That's going to be the danger zone mark here for QsQ112, Trev.
Yeah, and the thing about these tri-lanes, when you have tri-lane versus tri-lane, is both the support and the main carry, like both the FA and the Glacius, although FA is struggling a lot more than the Pebbles is, are going to be very under-leveled. So these heroes that are mid or in the long lane or short lane or whatever that are getting solo experience, like look at FA, or sorry, I keep saying FA for Fade, but Fade is level 9, and the supports on the other team are 4. You got Witchslayer who's level 4 and Apply who's 4. That's going to be huge, and that's just going to be like basically a free kill. So, and you know, the same thing goes with Bubbles, although Bubbles is doing a lot worse than Fade here. But that's why tri-lanes were kind of not popular for a long time is because you get these heroes like Zeus was really popular at the time, or Pebbles solo mid, who just, once they get their main items, it's just like a free kill on the supports whenever you want them because they're so gibbed and they're so low in experience. So I bet Fade is just going to have a field day with this Polywog Priest and this Witch there. So hopefully they get a lot of counter wards, a lot of sentries, and a lot of vision up so that they can make sure they don't feed them too much.
Yeah, and when you pull up the chart number 4 there, the experience per minute chart, we really don't look at enough, frankly, but you just look. I mean, Fade and how far ahead she is of everyone in this game. But meanwhile, at the bottom lane, actually both Magnus and Glacius get a job. Speaking of support, the Hellborn support going to go down right there. The double damage Pebbles doing a lot of work. But, of course, his support in Witch Slayer and Polywog Priest being a big part of that. Pebbles, Wang Wang going balls to the wall, but not going to be enough as Bubbles was coming in with the Kelp Field ready. But Forsaken Archer was just out of range. So good for FJ right there for QsQ112, able to barely stay out of range, but able to stay alive nonetheless, and that's the good news. Yeah, we are actually aware about the in-game sound, guys. In fact, producers definitely been trying to fix that during the game, but it might come to a point where after the first game we'll have to take just a quick break and take a better look at it. But so just a quick update on that, where that stands. But for now, you just get myself and Tralf Amador. Beautiful voices and all.
More action bottom.
Yeah, bottom lane. Forsaken Archer. Tongue tie coming out. Polywog Priest dropping, though. He's going to end up going down. Forsaken Archer trying to stay alive against the Pebbles. That chuck in the air. He says, gotcha, bitch. Takes him out. Witch Slayer falls into his grave, however. And now Glacius and Magnus are going to chase Pebbles down. Nice Tundra Blast just hitting Pebbles. And it is going to buy enough time for Fade to come in here. He's going to go to Congress. So kill me, Kongor! Burning Shadows comes out, though. And the final couple of auto attacks from Meisty on Fade to finish him off. So actually not working out too shabby there for the Hellborn side, but I mean, Forsaken Archer, man, she is struggling big time now. 0-4-2, under 200 gold per minute, but still only level 5. That is that's low. That is low in this game.
Yeah, hopefully this Fade can really do something with the momentum there for Forsaken Archer. I mean, she definitely can. Actually, some action up top. I missed a little bit of it, but good gank there by Bubbles as well as Wild Soul to get that kill onto Valkyrie. That's exactly what Orange needed to do. They needed to kill one of these solo laners or one of these heroes that were getting good experience in farm. They did it to the Valkyrie, so that's very good for them. Bulwark just picked up on Wild Soul right there, so that's going to really increase his pushing potential.
Yeah, that's of course the big item there for Boo Boo, really. But of course, Wild Soul being the controller of Boo Boo. But I mean, this bear though, it just wrecks towers, especially with that Soul's Bulwark. As soon as he gets that, so expect some. Well, should we? I mean, should we expect XXF now to really get aggressive in terms of pushing towers? The fact that we still have 0 tower kills now, 13.5 minutes into this game, a little bit surprising maybe, but at the same time, should we start seeing that now, especially with this Wild Soul here?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's just waiting for the right time too. And also, when he hits level 11, that extra ability right there, the Battle Cry, just gives you so much extra damage for, I think it's only like 8 seconds or something. But nonetheless, you put Bulwark, he now has it on offensive. You put that Bulwark on a tower with that Battle Cry, I mean, you're dishing out like 300 damage to a tower, and it just, it drops so damn fast.
Yeah. We do see Fade setting up again here in the bottom lane. Of course, she's level 11. What's that?
He just picked up her Codex.
Oh, wow, yeah, level 1 Codex even on top of that. Now, there is a Revelation down, so he needs to be careful. It is near the tower, though. In fact, she's going to go in right here on the witch side. There's that Codex being used. The Call on top of the Burning Shadows gets the kill. Magnus with a lot of trouble. He can't even Lava Surge away, and Magnus will fall, so it ends up being a 1-for-1 exchange. Magnus going a little bit crazy there, being played by Fresh Blunts. Unfortunately, not the correct decision, though. Nice kill. Feel the haste. Bubbles coming. Good freeze, though, from Glacius, but a better Shell Serve pour from Bubbles coming out. Looking to finish off Glacius. The Glacial down, on top of the tower damage. Bubbles actually in a little bit of trouble. Could use a take cover. Get away. FJ on Forsaken Archer will also fall, and the wards are down as well as Boo Boo being here. This tower is just going to disintegrate now, as that will finally be the first tower kill of the game coming out in favor of the Legion team, and do not expect it to stop there. All 5, or 4 of them, I should say, are here at this bottom lane, and they're going to keep this going as we see Pebbles, Wild Soul, Polywog Priest, and Bubbles. And look at how quickly that tower falls. This is with no wards. I mean, it's dead. The 2 tower kills just like that all of a sudden.
Yeah, and you saw right there, the bear was hitting or critting the tower. And it's not really a crit, but it just does an extra bonus damage, so it shows the little crit symbol. Yeah, it was hitting it for 90. Oh, I missed another kill.
That was ridiculous. Meisty was going down. He just used everything at the last second, though, and took out Witch Slayer with him. But sorry to cut you off right there.
Oh, no, that's good for him. But you saw when he used the battle cry there in the tower, it increases damage from like 90 to like 170. So it's a huge difference. And you just see how fast they kill those towers there. They didn't even use polywalk wards for the second one that they used on the first tier towers, and they just mopped up those towers. And so that's going to be really, really hard, especially for this Forsaken Archer, who's just going to try to bounce back. Hopefully he can static farm this lane right down here, but right now sitting at actually 200 gold per minute. That's surprising, considering the fact that she's 0-5 and 2. But yeah, I don't know. It's going to be a rough game for FJ.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Forsaken Archer being played by FJ, as you mentioned. I mean, he is managing to just barely get over that 200 GPM, but yeah, really struggling. What do you think of his build, by the way? He went stats as well as the crippling volley. He just hit 7, so he's gonna have level 4 crippling volley, but he didn't go skeletons instead of just going straight for stats. I mean, does that make sense to you being in the try versus trial lane down there?
No.
No?
I hate it. I hate it. I've seen people do it, and I don't like it. It drastically reduces your farming potential, your pushing potential, and pushing potential basically means it opens up the map for your own team. I can see maybe at this point, because it's not like she's going to be pushing anything at all, but it just adds so much more damage in general. I don't know. Great counter ward there right there. Fade is trying to gank. Great counter initiation, though, by the Legion team. FA does get a very, very good ultimate off there right there, but it's just not going to be enough. Polywalk does get the tongue tie off on him. He's only level 7, so he's going to be taking a lot of damage. Pebble says to have a chuck, but no stun. He does have a portal key as well. Will he find him? Good volley coming out and stun, missed, and I think FA might get away. Oh, I spoke too soon. He does get the Hex off by Witch, and some more damage coming out, and he will go down.
Yeah, good pursuit right there for the Legion side. In fact, Polywalk Priest going to end up dropping a Glacius, trying to tongue tie him long enough, but not able to do so. However, the cleanup crew comes in, and of course, the Legion team will finish it off strong right there. But as you mentioned, that all started with a great Order Revelation placed by our Legion team, and able to spot Fade incoming. I mean, he's trying to position himself, but that's obviously a downside of Fade. Order Revelations are your bane, and we saw right there exactly why. If you're playing against a smart team that's very aware and knowing when it's possible you're going to initiate, you got to expect those Water Revelations to be down, as we saw there, and an easy kill coming out. But speaking of Fade, jumping Watson out the top lane. He has a lot of life, but a lot of burst coming out for Fade. However, Magnus cannot Lava Surge. There we go, maximum range. And XXF very likely in a lot of trouble. Spawns the bear back, trying to get another Lucky Entangle. There's a third ability from Fade, trying to get away. Watson still has 158 life. Burning Shadows comes out, and there's a final auto attack. But at what cost right here? Fade will end up dying. It took him forever. That gave enough time for both Bubbles and Pebbles to come in. The Pebbles combination. We see Magnus actually trying to get away, but the Portal Key Pebbles. There's a chuck in the air and slams him down onto the ground. Handle, baby. Playing that Bubbles, actually getting credit for the kill right there. It is not over just yet, though, ladies and gentlemen. The crippling volley once again missing. FJ definitely not having one of his better games. Glacia's going to fall. Forsaken Archer going to end up going down right here. No doubt. There's no way he's getting away with this hot pursuit. The double portal keys, and down he goes. And what is Valkyrie thinking? She has a haste rune, I guess, as she's going to do kind of a drive-by, but is just going to end up running away. Gets a fast frog coming out. Oh, the tongue-tied. No, it's not in range. And Valkyrie will survive. So Orange Esports, though, this is the Orange that we do know and love here. Just constant action, really non-stop pursuit. And they already have 22 hero kills, not even 19 minutes into the game, Trev.
Yeah, and I love the way they play. When you were asking me yesterday what we wanted to cast, I definitely said Orange because they always provide such entertaining games. Before, they were used to be a team that was just so super aggressive, always wanting to get kills, and didn't really put a lot of emphasis in the tower pushing. Well, guess what? They looked at the international scene, they saw how important tower pushing is, so they've mixed the two, and they just become, I think, it's such a much stronger team.
Yeah.
And it's very, very fun to watch them.
Yeah, it definitely is, and this is, again, another great example of that. So hopefully you guys tuning in are definitely being entertained by this game that we do have for you. It's a 22-12 hero kit advantage so far in favor of a Legion side now. That doesn't mean the game is over by any means. QsQ112 is going to do their best to hold strong here and hope for the best. So you do still have a level 12 Fade who still can definitely feed off of the support that we're talking about, especially in Polywalk Priest and Witch Slayer. But at the same time, they also have a Forsaken Archer who's now 0-7, under 200 gold per minute, under 200 experience per minute, and is still level 7. In fact, she does hit level 8 right there, but just not getting absolutely anything going. So this is just going to need to be a case of Q Squad just holding it off as long as possible and hoping that Forsaken Archer can eventually recover, but this is not going to be a good time. Magnus gets shot by Pebbles. The double portal key is once again working. Magnus will end up falling to the Witchslayer graveyard. Stun in ports. Forsaken Archer, though, trying to set up a turnaround. The Codex used on Witchslayer, but he's able to tank it more than enough. He's going to stay alive. The Glacial Downpour coming out. Cancel it quickly, though. The wards are down for Voodoo, or Polywog Priest, excuse me, and Valkyrie will get taken out. Pebbles jumps back in with the chug, takes out Forsaken Archer. Glacius will fall, and I would not be surprised to start seeing some GGs coming out in the near future. Orange Esports Malaysia is just starting to steamroll now over QsQ112. And there we go. The GG well plays are called, and Orange Esports Malaysia will officially take game number 1 here.
Wow, that was just an exciting ride. I mean, that was such a fun game to watch, and Orange Esports just played that really well. The Polywog Priest support actually ended up faring very well down in that tri-lane. I do think at the same time, some big misplays down there, just some positioning issues, some missed spells by the Hellborn team, which is a huge factor in a try-v-try situation. You've got to hit those spells.
Yeah, that was definitely Orange Esports really taking it to QsQ112, and you know, again, obviously not to put blame on one player by any means. He had a tough situation at the bottom lane, but Forsaken Archer just not getting anything obviously doesn't help your situation. Meisty did all he could on Fade. He definitely deserves a lot of credit that game for what he did in that middle lane. But just as a team, QsQ112 definitely got outplayed here in the first game. And so we'll see. It's a best out of 3 for a reason, of course. So we'll see how they respond now going into game number 2. But